beautiful people. Today I'm going to do a very quick video on the different types of visas in Australia. Information out there's a lot of misinformation out there, and I think a lot of people are just confused with what is what. So I'm just going to talk about some of the more popular visas, give you a very quick rundown, and I hope you guys have a better understanding of the Australian migration system. First visa is the tourist visa. Now, this is the visa that people use to come to Australia to holiday, to see family and friends, and also there are some where they come here for a business visit. This visa is very simple. I mean, before COVID, millions of people traveled every year to Australia on the tourist visa, and there is two main things that you need to show to be eligible for a tourist visa in Australia. Number one, you need to show funds. You need to show that you have enough money to come, travel to Australia, and also support yourself and also not need to work in Australia. That's the number one. The second one is that you have an incentive to go back home to your home country. Unfortunately, some people do try and take advantage of our migration program here in Australia. They may come on a tourist visa and then just try and stay here. I mean, I wouldn't blame them. We live in a beautiful country. So what the migration department have done to try and reduce that is that they've made it harder for people to come to Australia that have higher requirements they need to meet. So if you have money, you have assets, you have a family, and you've established yourself in your home country, then you have more of a chance to come to Australia. The second visa we're going to talk about is the student visa. So again, millions and millions of students come every single year to Australia, and Australia welcomes international students. I mean, it's one of our biggest markets and it's huge for our economy. And the two main things that you need to be eligible and to be approved for a student visa is one, you have to have enough funds. So you have to be able to show that you have enough money to come to Australia, support yourself for at least the first year, and also pay for your school fees and your living expenses. When you come, you do have working rights and you can work a part-time job to support yourself. The other thing they want you to show is that, again, you have an incentive to go back home to your home country. So how they look at that is, again, they look at your circumstances. So when you've applied, you showed good funds, maybe assets. I mean, it's sometimes hard for students to show assets. If you show that your family and everything is well established in your home country, then it would be easier for you to get a student visa grant. A lot of student visa applications are also refused every single year because the applicant is unable to show that they have an incentive and they're genuinely here to study. The third visa is the temporary graduate visa. So for students in Australia, if they've studied either a trade, a certificate, a diploma, or a bachelor degree or higher, they can be eligible for a temporary graduate visa, which is essentially 18-month to 24-month work visa, which allows them to stay and live in Australia for the next 2 years after they graduate and get their work experience. A lot of students go for this. I've done a full video, and check out the link below about how this visa works. But after you graduate and you meet the requirements, you can be eligible to stay and live in Australia for up to 2 years. The fourth visa we're going to talk about is the independent skilled visa. It's called the subclass 189, and it is the one that most students look to every single year to apply for so they can get their permanent visa in Australia. There is a lot of information out there about this visa, and there is some good information on the Department of Home Affairs website. However, this visa works very differently to other ones. Firstly, it is points based. So once you have graduated and you've done all your other requirements, such as you need to sit your English, you need to get a valid skills assessment, and there are a number of other things that you can do to get your points up to be eligible for this program. On the Department of Home Affairs website, you will see that along with all the requirements, which I won't go through today, is that you need a minimum of 65 points to apply. Unfortunately, you're not going to get it with 65 points. It depends on the occupation too. Some occupations might be a little bit lower, but as a general rule, for all the occupations that are eligible for a 189 visa, you need 95 points. I mean, it's just ridiculous.